Okay, welcome everybody. I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm so excited for those of you that were at the beginner level. You graduated last week, and now we're at the intermediate level, and I'm very proud of all of you. You did a great job. And I do see a lot of new faces, so welcome, welcome. This is, like I said, this is the intermediate level, and we're going to be discussing different things that kind of kick things up a notch. A lot of you already know how to use social media or technology, doesn't scare you, things like that. And so we're going to kind of step everything up a notch. So remember at the very beginning, write down your questions. I always have to say this at the beginning. Write down your questions not only because you can remember them later, but I always say that the Holy Ghost will help you learn and remember and teach you things as you write things down. Now, Sister Price opened with a prayer, and I invite the Holy Ghost to be with us today. And I said this last week, I know that the Spirit helps us be smarter and helps us understand things more. And so I know that we all need the Spirit with us as we learn these new things, because we want to be instruments in the Lord's hands with these powerful tools. So write down your questions, hold your comments, and then we'll have the question and answer time afterwards. Okay, so today, like I said, we're going to step it up, okay? And we're going to learn more about using apps to create. And that word right there I want to focus on at the very beginning is create. We'll talk a little bit about that more. We're going to create images and graphics, learn about filters. See, this is going up a little bit of a notch. Filters on photos, collages, and frames. And like we talked about last week, beautiful images lend themselves to the spirit that we are sharing. And so if we want to share the gospel, we want to make sure that these images and the photos and the things that we're doing are beautiful, right? And so today, it's all about creating beauty. So just relax and have fun and enjoy the things that we do. Okay, so first of all, we're going to do a little video. And let's hope it works.
Technology known as social media is evolving in our day and playing an increasingly important role in hastening the work of salvation. These various social media are helping the leaders and members of the restored church to fulfill the Lord's mandate to go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. Brothers and sisters, we live in a truly distinctive dispensation. All of these advancements are part of the Lord hastening his work in the latter days. As Elder M. Russell Ballard explained, in Shakespeare's time, he was limited generally to the Globe Theater, but we now have a global theater. The doors to the world are literally opened wide. Enoch foresees the restoration of the gospel in the latter days, the gathering of Israel, but my people will I preserve. And righteousness will I send down out of heaven, and truth will I send forth out of the earth, to bear testimony of mine only begotten, his resurrection from the dead, yea, and also the resurrection of all men. And righteousness and truth will I cause to sweep the earth as with a flood. Social media channels are global tools that can personally and positively impact large numbers of individuals and families. And I believe the time has come for us as disciples of Christ to use these inspired tools appropriately and much more effectively to testify of God the Eternal Father and his plan of happiness for his children. Following these simple guidelines will enable members of the church around the world to create and share gospel messages that will cause the light to shine forth out of darkness. I now extend to you the invitation to help transform the trickle into a flood. Beginning at this place on this day, I exhort you to sweep the earth with messages filled with righteousness and truth. The Savior stands at the head of his church in these latter days. He is hastening his work, and no unhallowed hand can stop this work from progressing. Of these things I bear solemn testimony and witness. In the sacred name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, I have to kind of compose myself after that. I know that we talked about this in the first class and everything, but talk about power. I mean, when we hear the words of the Lord's apostle inviting us to be a part of this great work through social media and through technology, and then later on he gave us promises that we talked about before, the promises that we will have the capacity to do the things that we've been asked to do. I know that this is true. I testify that that Elder Bednar, that he was talking about what we need to be doing right now. And it's so exciting, isn't it? We live in an exciting and interesting time. Some people crack up when people say that, because I had a friend that says it's not exciting and interesting, it's annoying and nauseating. But I guess it depends on Anna. I like to joke with her. Because there is a lot of heaviness in the world today, but we can combat that with the gospel of Jesus Christ and the light and truth that we have, and then we can flood the earth, as he said. But the thing that I wanted you to catch from this and to listen to is his invitation. The invitation is to all. And so all of you sitting here right now, you have a special role to play. It will not be the same as what the person is sitting next to you. And I want you to remember that. We all have a personal role to play in this. And it's just as important as somebody, a bigwig or something like that. We are all bigwigs. We all have the gospel in our lives, and we need to be doing this together. So, yay! I'm so excited. So let's get on to the fun stuff. Now, this part that, first of all, did you do your homework? What did I say? If you didn't do your homework, you're going to detention. Okay, how many of you, okay, first of all, what was it? You did do homework. I was proud of you. I got emails from Ellen. It was awesome. Questions and things like that. Okay, so what was our homework from last week? And if it's your first week, it's okay. It's all right. What was your homework?
To do that every day.
To create something every day. Because while you're learning a new skill, especially something like this, it will leave your mind like that. And if you skip one day, then you think, okay, what was that again? And you forget the steps. So I encourage you, even with the things that we're learning today, one day, even if it's 5 minutes, one thing every day, do something to create. And I promise that when you take the time to do it, it will get easier and you can share more light and more goodness. Okay, so these quotes are from Elder President Uchtdorf, and we can use technology to create uplifting and inspiring messages and visuals to project light and truth. Creation brings deep satisfaction and fulfillment. The more you trust and rely on the Spirit, the greater your capacity to create. This is your opportunity in this life and your destiny in the life to come. Don't you love that? We all are destined to create things. And just because you create differently than the person next to you doesn't mean that you're not creating something. So as we're learning today about the things that you can do with technology, remember, what is my role in creating? What is my role in sharing goodness? And just really listen to what the Spirit will teach you, because I promise you that you will be taught things from on high that you can do specifically. And it's exciting to me. I love that we all are in this together and that we all have we're all a piece of the big puzzle. And we all come together and we work together. Okay, so I'm going to show you, and these are just examples, because I'm going to show you some things with word art and design and quotes. And don't feel overwhelmed. This is kind of these are a little bit more advanced designs, but get excited. This is to give you ideas about creating your own thing, and then we'll go from there, okay? So this, again, is just done in my app. I mean, it's the text that we learned last week. Remember, we learned text, and then adding designs, and that's what we'll learn about today. You can change colors. You can put the flowers on the bottom are colored stickers. really, it is quite fun to make these things. Think of your favorite quotes, or even something that part of your testimony that you want to say, or maybe a little quote that you want to give to your grandchild, or your son, or your daughter, or something like that. So be thinking. This is one that's just really simple. Goals are stars to steer by, not sticks to beat yourself with. Hello, who cannot? Yeah, I mean, this is something that everybody can hear. But that was a really simple creation to make in the app. And I think I shared this last week. A happy person is not a person in a certain set of circumstances, but rather a person with a certain set of attitudes. Again, little quotes like this that just uplift and inspire can really project light and truth.
Do you keep your a personal quote book, or where do you find out your good quotes?
Okay, the question was, do I keep a personal quote book? Actually, remember how we talked about, this is something else I didn't say. Whenever I get online, I say a prayer to know what I need to share, and I somehow find these quotes. Honestly, I'm just direct, I don't know, I don't have a book or anything, but when I do these, I keep them together, so then I have it. But I do know that when I find them, I'm usually on lds.org, and I'm taken somewhere, and just kind of, or on Facebook, and I see somebody else's, and it takes me to another link. But really, truly, when you are on social media and you're on technology, be prayerful about it, because you will be able to use your time effectively and efficiently, and you'll be led to the things that you need to do. Does that answer your question? That's kind of hard, but that's how it works for me personally. Okay, and this one is one of my favorite quotes. I love it. But this whole, the word art in the middle is an actual pre-made design that's already in the app, so you don't even have to do anything, and it's already a quote that says, it's not happy people who are thankful, it's thankful people who are happy. I love it. It's awesome. Okay, so here's some more, and this is one from David O. McKay. Next to eternal life, the most precious gift that our Father in heaven can bestow upon man is his children. What mom wouldn't want to send that to her child, or post it for their grandkids to see, or something like that? Okay, you may have a fresh start any moment you choose, for this thing we call failure is not falling down, but staying down. You may, I said that wrong. So just another one to uplift and inspire. Change the things you can't accept, and accept the things you can't change. Alone we can do so little together. So little. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. And, does anyone recognize this one? Hope on, journey on. Who said that?
Elder Holland.
Who said it?
Elder Holland.
Elder Holland. And that's the other thing that I love, that I'm, in the app, I can put in any quote I want, and people all over the world are using Elder Holland's words, and they're spreading light and everything, and they love this, and it speaks to them because it's truth. So I love this one from Elder Holland. Okay, so now, the other thing that we're going to work on today is collaging. And this is just a fun collage that I did with my mom's pictures. She's so cute right there. This picture down here, is this the one you were talking about, Anna? When I was little, we have a joke in our family. That little picture, I was probably a little bit younger than my mom was there, and I showed it to her, and I said, Mom, is this me when I'm bigger? And so this photo kind of really, it's like our favorite family photo, because that was me when I was bigger. But this is just something fun, because you can do, and we'll talk about this in a few weeks, and I'll put the plug in for Roots Tech now. Using apps, that's what our class is about. Using apps to do your family history is easy, and you're going to be learning how to do things where you can be putting, right here is just a photo, or a photo collage, but you could also be adding text. You could be adding names, you could be adding dates. If there's a memory that's attached to the photo, like what I just shared, I could put something like that on there. So be remembering that all these things that we're learning, we're going to build on it, and you'll be able to do family history, you'll be able to share goodness, you'll be able to do a lot of things with these skills and technology that you're learning. So while we're at it, Roots Tech is next week, and it is actually put on by Family Search, who is a branch of the LDS Church. I'm trying to remember, are they in, I point to you because I know your husband is that's his job, right, isn't it? Okay, so Family Search is a part of, is it the missionary department?
Family history.
It's the
Family History Department. Okay, all right. So it is sponsored by the LDS Church / Family Search, and there are classes that are offered Thursday, Friday. You can do different tracks. You can do what's it called, Get Started track, if you're just getting into family history. You can do a Roots Tech track, which has a lot more of in-depth classes. And all the classes are offered, I think, about every hour and a half, isn't it? About every hour and a half. They're about an hour long. Some will be recorded. Ours will be recorded, so if you don't make it, you can watch it later. But they have levels, different levels of family history, and let me tell you, this is another thing with the whole hastening of the work and everything. We've been asked to do this, and this is something that kind of haunted me for a few years. And I'd hear the words in general conference, and I felt the urgency and the push to do this, and I just didn't know how to do it. And I just dove in and went to Roots Tech, and that's really where it started. And just sitting there, you feel the spirit of Elijah. You feel the power of our ancestors on the other side saying, do this, you can do this. And really, truly, miracles have happened just in the time that I started going to Roots Tech. So I have a firm testimony that when we have the intents of our heart are pure and we want to do what's right, the Lord will always provide a way. So was that a good plug? Or do you guys all want to go to Roots Tech now?
Where is it?
It's up at the Salt Palace. You can get online at rootstech.org, and you can see all the different passes. Like for 1 day pass, it starts at $19. That's very reasonable. If you want to do 2 days, I believe, it's $39. And the last day, on Saturday the 14th, is the Family Discovery Day, and that is free, but the tickets are gone. But there are also classes during that day as well, so it can be three days, and I think it bumps up to maybe 52 or something like that.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, although it's put on by the church, Family Search, this is a global family history conference. Non-members are there. People from all over the world come to this.
Exactly. Everybody, this is Crystal Butler. She's the one that I am teaching the class with. She's here from California for Roots Tech, but she is, I owe a lot of what I've learned from family history to her. She is amazing. She's been doing this for 30 years. She's absolutely inspiring. It's amazing.
If any of your family, I mean, not your husband or whatever, or you work at BYU, you can actually go for free. You call the benefits office and they give you a code. Because it started out as a special courses and conference at BYU.
Awesome. Okay, so if you didn't hear that, anybody, if you're affiliated with BYU, if somebody works there, you can call them, you can get free tickets. So I encourage you to, if you can get there, even if it's 1 day, even if it's for a couple classes, I promise you, the spirit is strong there. And it just inspires me. I absolutely love it. Okay, so back to collages. So this is just a simple collage, and we're going to learn how to do this today. So don't freak out. Circles, doesn't that just excite you? It's so exciting. But now look at how different this collage is. Same pictures, and I mashed up the apps, and that might be a little bit mind-blowing. What I did is I just took a couple apps in the Rana Designs. I created the picture with a frame, and then I made the collage with it. So it looks like I've got little photos sitting there on a desktop or on a tabletop or something. So really simple, really easy, and we're going to learn how to do it. Okay. Now's the time to take the breath. You can do this, remember? No matter what, you got it in you. So we're going to open up, and we're going to open up Rana Designs first, and we're going to actually create this word art right here, okay? We can do hard things with a smile. Now, wouldn't you like to have this printed off and put it framed someplace in your house so that your whole family can see it sometimes? When we're having a meltdown or something, I just want to hold this picture up to somebody and say, look, we can do hard things with a smile. Okay, so we're going to actually create this right now, okay? So I'm going to take you out of here, and I'm going to go into Rana Designs. So those of you that were not here last week.
That's what I was going to ask. Do we just need to add that app, your design app?
Rana Designs, yes. And Julie, did you get the free code that I sent? Okay, you did. Okay, because I gave that to everybody. Okay.
Do I need it to get Rana Design?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
And if you want a free code, which of course you do. I didn't bring my extra free codes today because I wasn't thinking. Shoot, I should have done that. How many of you want free codes right now?
Well, can I give her this one that I have?
Yes. Oh, and I have to make a specification. It's only for iPhones. Android store does not give us. Do you have an Android? Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know why they won't give us codes. I think it's kind of crazy because I like to share and share and share. But if you have an iPhone, iPad or iPod, it will work in the iTunes store. Yes, so if you have an iPod or an iPad, that would work out great.
If I just call out the,
Because don't we have 3? Didn't I give you 3?
I've got,
yeah, I got three
Did you use those though? They can only be used once.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
thing. iTunes makes it very individual to your device, and it recognizes that code for your device.
So are these codes for me to get Rana designs?
Yes. And I think I gave you 3.
Did.
Okay.
So someone else can-
Have you used 1?
I haven't yet, I'm on this.
Okay. So Stacy needs 1,
Okay.
and who else? Joan needs 1. Okay.
if we already have your app, we don't need one?
No. No, this is just these are the newbies of the Rana. These are the ones that are being introduced to it. Okay, so
If I want to grab a couple of free ones from you for my beehives and teach them, can I get?
do you know what? I will send you. I mean, this to me is. Have you guys seen a lot of the youth that are doing like they create these Instagram accounts and then they it's not on their names, but it's like I'm trying to think. There's like LDS.
LDS and Proud.
Exactly. There's like Mormon. I can't remember all of them now,
Mormon
but these are little. Yeah, these are. I shouldn't say little because look at me. Okay, these are young women that are taking Elder Bednar's invitation, and they are just doing missionary work. Like I can't believe so. Young women, yes.
Address, you can just email me.
Yes, and I'll give you as many as you want. Yeah, if you have a family members, the thing is if you're in your same home and you have you have the free code and it's downloaded on your iTunes, and your daughter uses the same iTunes account, you guys can both get it. So you don't need codes for every single person as long as it's the same iTunes account. But if you do want to share it with friends, if you want to share it with beehives, young women, whoever, I am happy to share those with you. Yeah. So, but now back to the problem at hand. We need. Both of those were used, right? Those codes.
I don't know which one I used. I gave one to Sheila.
Okay.
When I went home last week.
Okay. Well, we'll be able to find out really quickly. I'm going to walk you through. Those of you that have the code, Julie.
I'll give it to Stacy.
Okay, when you go, and Stacy, when you do this, you're going to go into your app store, and on the front page it says featured. Oops, I do that all the time, right in my eye. Okay, featured right there. You're going to scroll down until you see redeem, and that's where you're going to actually tap in, and then you have to put your code in, and that's the part that stops a lot of people. But once you put your code in, you'll, right here where it says you can also enter your code manually, that's where you'll actually type in that code that I gave you. So do you want to give me one? Actually, give them both to me, and we'll see if, and you guys just do this, and if it works, then it works. If it doesn't, then
I think the X one has not been used.
Okay, the
P
X one
has, I think.
has not been used. Will you pass those back to Sister Murphy? Okay.
So do you have to add it twice?
So you're going to add it right here where it says you can enter your code manually. You'll type it in, and then it will automatically take you to Rana Designs, and then you'll see the little install button, and it should be installing. Now, the thing that we learned last week was that when you're trying to install on your Wi-Fi here, it's very slow. So if you have data, turn off your Wi-Fi and try to install it right now on your phone. Okay? So, take a deep breath, everyone. Ready? So, the Rana Designs app icon is this little pink one right here. And we're going to open it up. You're just going to tap on the app itself. And then this is where the opening page is. And
These that are going around, these little things.
well, if the X one, we think, yeah. Did Sister Murphy, did you get one?
Did everyone get one that needs one? Who needs one? I just wanted a few for my beehive, so I'll just get.
Oh, okay.
one.
All right. So you have it to work on right now, though.
Yeah, does anyone need it right now? There's an X one.
Okay. And you have an iPhone?
I'm going to put it on my computer.
Oh, perfect. Well, actually, you can't put it on your computer. You have to put it, because it's not a desktop app, it's a mobile app. It has to be on an iPad. I know, it's very, very specific. They really do work it, very interesting. But, okay, so we're going to create now. Remember, you can create. This far left button right here is the film roll, and even though this is where you'll grab your photos, right now what we're going to do, when I tap on it, it's going to take me to the very top. We want to look at the top where there are backgrounds. Background 1 is where you're going to want to tap. And then you'll see that all these different backgrounds just came up. And these are just patterns and things that you can play with. We're going to see that little zigzag pattern right there, the very middle one. Tap on that. And this actually is an 8.5 by 11 or an 8 by 10 around there. If you wanted to get it printed off when we made this, you could actually save it on your camera roll and you could send it to a printer or you could print it from home. So this is the original that we're going to use, but I'm going to crop it as a square just because I like to, when I post it on Instagram or when I have little square frames or something. So down here at the bottom is where you're going to crop. I'm going to select. If you don't want to crop, let me say, just hit crop at the very top. That doesn't mean, remember, like we talked about last week, that means you're set, you're done. But I do want to crop it to a square, so I'm going to crop on the square. And do you see how it did that right there? Now, this is where if you want to make it a little bit bigger, if you want to make it a little bit smaller, if you want to have an edge, this is where you're going to take your fingers and you're going to pinch and pull and kind of move around. Now on this pattern it doesn't make that big of a difference because it is a pattern, but think about this when you have a photo. If you want to crop it to a face or if you want to move it or something like that, this is where you would do that. And notice that it's because I'm still in the crop phase. I haven't actually cut it. Really that should say cut up there, but we just put crop. So when you're finished and you know that that's where you want it, go ahead and tap crop up on top. And that just released it, so now we're able to look at the different tools to create. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to tap on, last week we talked a lot about the text. And so some of the same steps and techniques and everything we'll be doing again. So if you didn't if you didn't come last week, it's okay. I'm going to take you through and we're going to learn some things. So this little starburst up here is where you access the design library. And when you tap on it, you're going to have lots of designs on your left side. Now, all of these right here that you see on my phone are in-app purchases, and you probably don't see that. If you haven't bought them, it's probably at the very top where it says extras. But I'm going to scroll all the way down to the basics of the app. When you buy the app with just the $1.99, you get about, I think it's 700 plus designs just in the app itself. So even though, and really when we launched this app, I didn't think that I'd be doing extra designs, but we had so many people saying, I want more, that we just put more in. But really, there's plenty to do with the initial base app. It's awesome. But it'll probably start at Insta banners, and then everything from down below is where we'll be accessing.
Is it different on Android? Because when I press that film thing, all I get is the choice of gallery or photo.
So go ahead to go to your gallery, and that's where your backgrounds will be. It's just, they're different names, it's just called different
It
things.
just goes to all my photos on my phone.
But one of them is
So
background.
scroll through it, and it'll be Rana's, does it say Rana's backgrounds or something like that?
Oh,
Yeah, okay. And just go ahead and just start looking through. That's the best way to learn is when you have an app, just start tapping and seeing where it takes you and explore and discover the things that are going on. Okay, so we want to create a circle right now, which will be the base of our design. And so we'll scroll down to what's called Insta Geo. Okay? And when you tap that design, it will give you, as I scroll over, it will give me 26 other designs. So as you're going down the design packs, on your left, that's just one design pack where there are 26 more. Does that make sense? Okay, so right now we're going to just select a plain circle, and you'll notice the default color is always white. Okay?
Is it the open circle or the dark circle?
It's the dark circle, because we're going to make the whole thing white. And then that bottom circle at the very bottom right here, we're going to pull so that it will be a little bit larger. Okay?
Okay, if you accidentally hit a wrong one, how do you take it out?
You mean like if I hit that one instead?
Yeah. If I want
Okay, then I
something
just go
different.
back to the other one, the right one.
Okay, so you just hit it over it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can actually, you don't have to use the circle if you don't want to. You can use anything. Get creative. This is the fun part. But I'm just taking you step by step on this one because we'll learn different techniques and then you go with it. You do all the fun things that you want to. Okay, so this is going to be the base where we're going to put our design, our word art. but we want to adjust the opacity. Now this is really fun. So up here, remember we learned that when there are 3 lines, that usually means there's more. So we're going to open our drawers to find our different tools. And over here, we're going to go through all of these today. But right now, we're going to focus on transparency, okay? So tap on transparency. And then you'll see a slider right here. When it's all the way over to 100% opaque, that means it's 100% opaque. But then I'm going to take my finger and just slide it. And you see how it adjusts the opacity or the transparency? Okay, so I'm going to go somewhere around 75%, around there, so that I can still see the design back there, but it also gives it just a little bit more subtlety. Now, like last week when we learned to add a different layer, that little plus sign is our friend. We're going to tap that to add another design. So tap the plus, and then it will take you to the design packs again. And this time, we're still going to go to InstaGeo. We're just going to use a different design. So find your InstaGeo. Sorry, I have to scroll through so many. InstaGeo. And we're going to find the circle that has 3 lines. And you won't be able to see it very well because the default is the white. But these color squares is what will change it. So I'm going to tap gray, and then I can see which one it is.
3 circles.
Yeah, and there are different options. There's a thick circle, a thick line, thin line, several different ones. And just go ahead and tap on them and have fun and play with them and see which one. You may not want to use the exact one that I do. Then again, to resize it, you grab that little white, or the little circle at the bottom, and just position it over your circle, just to give it some depth and interest.
How did you get back to the circles after doing the transparency?
I did the plus,
Okay.
and that allows you to get to more design packs, and then you scroll back down to InstaGeo. So it's kind of, I'm taking you through this because we're going through every step, and you'll learn, as you start practicing, it just becomes, so you can do it in about 5 seconds, yeah. So if you're starting to get frustrated, like, oh, I can't do it, it's okay, take a deep breath, remember, you can do this.
We go right out.
Okay, so we've just selected the color so that we have a gray. And you could, if you don't want a gray, you can do it, navy, you can do light blue. I've got a light gray right here that I've got. And now we want to add the we can do hard things. And that is in, we're going to go to the plus again because this is another layer of design.
So we never hit done until we're done with all the layers.
You can if you want, and if you do, you just tap the
Plus again.
Okay. Or when you hit done, you're out, and you just see the T and the starburst, and you would hit the starburst again. Okay. Yeah. And remember, I told you there's nothing to be scared about. If you made a mistake, you can always go back. You can always figure it out, or just start over again. It's okay.
Is there a way to center your design so it's perfectly centered?
With your just moving it like this?
No, I mean, just is there a centering?
No. No, you just do it with your eye, and you just move it to where you want. Okay, so we're back to the plus sign, right? Now we're going to find, it's called, let me see, it's called Insta Goals, sorry. Go to Insta Goals, and I'll show you what it looks like. It is this one right here that says Be Strong. And again, if you tap that Be Strong, you'll go to 26 different pre-designed word art designs. And then scroll all the way over till you find We Can Do Hard Things. Tap on that little art right there. And again, the default is white, so you may not be able to see it. So tap on navy, just so that you can see it, all right? Some of you guys are just having fun, I can tell. Okay, and now position this. Remember, we're going to have some words underneath it, so you don't want it to cover the whole circle, but take that little circle at the bottom, enlarge it to where you want it to be, and then move it with your finger up to what looks good to you.
You putting something under it?
Yeah, because we're going to do with a smile, remember? That's part of that design. We can do hard things with a smile. You could just leave it like this, and that's fine, but I want to show you some more techniques, okay? Remember, we're stepping it up a notch today. So speaking of stepping it up a notch, all of these colors right here, as I scroll over, you'll see they're already pre-mixed colors. But look at that over there. It says more. And this is where you can actually, you tap more, and then you have this color slider where you can create any color you want. I want to make kind of a teal color. So I'm going to take the top slider and go over to kind of a dark teal, and then adjust the bottom so it's lighter, and then adjust the middle. And this one, there is no formula. This is just fun. When we say more, I mean it's more fun. That's what it should be saying, right? More party, more fun.
Oh!
Isn't that fun? Squeals of delight. We are having squeals of delight here. It is so fun. That's what creating should make us feel like, right? I'm doing it. I'm creating. It's awesome. Okay, so we just mixed this color right here. That's our custom color, right? So now I want to put the little banner that says smile on the bottom, but this is a little tip and a little trick. I want to mix that same color. Okay, so tap X to get out of the color sliders. Notice that you've got the plus sign up there, but I want this same color, a different design, so I'm going to tap the plus, and you see at the very top where it says duplicate? I'm going to duplicate that. Now, I duplicated the color and the design. I'm going to change the design, but I wanted that color, okay? So right now you have 2 weekend do's, and that's okay. So we're going to go. Make sure that you're on that, kind of move it around, make sure that you're on the one that you want to change. At that slider down here with your words, you want to get back to that left side. And you just scroll till you see your designs. And you're going to go down to Insta Love is what it's called. And it looks like this. It's the one that says hello. Okay, so you go to Insta Love, and again, 26 more designs. You're going to scroll all the way across. This is a fun one. Seriously, there's so many designs in here. You guys will have so much fun. But find the little banner that already says smile. So when you chose the different design, you still have that same color. So now it's coordinated, and it's just lovely, and it looks so cute. And you're going to move it down to about like this. Okay? Yeah. And actually, I think I want it a little bit smaller to kind of there. I want it to be like, right like that. So play around with that. And now I'm going to show you in our drawer of tools up there with the 3 lines, I'm going to show you another tool that's really fun. So tap up on your 3 lines so that we open the drawer to all the different tools. And we're going to go to the one that says outline. Okay, so tap on outline. And this, again, gives you all the colors that you want. But watch what happens. As I take my finger on the little slider button and I adjust it, it makes just a little tiny outline. It's not a lot, but it gives it just enough so that it pops. But I do want it to be white, so I tapped on the white right here. So do you see what it did? It just made it so it gives it a little bit of a stand up against the salmon color on the bottom. So I'll take you through it again. You find that tool in your toolbox up here, and it's called outline. And then once you're in the outline, tap outline, then the color boxes come with the little slider that says narrow or thick. And really, it's not that thick. It's basically just something. This affects each design and each font differently, but it's just a fun tool so that you know where it is, so that you can create and you can experiment and find fun things. And go ahead and tap on the different colors and see what it does. Like I just tapped on navy. But I am going to go back to white. Okay? So how many smiles is outlined? Smile is outlined. Does that make sense? Is your smile outlined? Some of you were very... I see a lot of, I'm doing it. But you are doing it. It's so exciting.
I tried not to do that, but then when I got a smile, it didn't, the smile was in white.
Even though you did duplicate. Okay, so the question was, she did duplicate, but smile was in white, which means it probably wasn't on the plus. So you have to do the plus and then the duplicate, and that's what will duplicate that layer that you were working on. Okay, so we're going to hit done at the very top because we're going to release the whole design part that we've been in. Remember when you're in that little design starburst up there, you were working with all those designs, okay? So you've got one layer of the circle, two layer, your second layer is the line circle, third layer is the word art, and fourth layer is the smile. So you've got 4 layers right here. Give yourself a hand. That's advanced. You guys are now intermediate. That is awesome. Way to go. Woohoo!
Rhonda, how do we get back there from the...
Hit done. Done is always your friend but remember that doesn't mean you're done. It just means I'm done with the design. Now we want to add the words with a right there. So we're going to hit the T, very top. And remember it's very similar in that each of these font packs you'll open and there will be more. So tap the very top one that's called Rhonda's Faves. And you've got all these different fonts right here, but I included a lot of the same fonts that I designed with so you can do different things together. So this first one right here is the same font that's in Can. So it'll look very like you just meant to do it. So go ahead and tap that font right there, and you're going to double edit. You can't see it very well. You're going to double tap to edit, which means you'll bring up the keyboard. So double tap, and then you're going to type in with a. So right now we have it in black just to show you where it is. When you're finished, tap the X to release the keyboard. But notice that the square and the circle are still highlighted, which means you can move your text around. So move it to where you want it. And you want it to be a little bit smaller, so I'm going to show you a little trick, okay? Again, we're going to go into our toolbox that's up here. It's still the 3 lines. Note that it is a different color because that means that we are in the text editing parts, but that toolbox is still the same. So tap on the 3 lines, and we're going to go to fine tune. And this is where you can fine tune up or down, left or right, or small or big. And when you tap on the plus or the negative, it just barely bumps it up a little bit or down a little bit. Or you can take your finger, watch what happens if I take my finger to the down one. That's what happens right here. But let's say I want it right, I got it to about right there, but I want to just nudge it. I'm going to tap on this on this minus sign and watch what happens here. It just goes little tiny nudges. So this is a fine-tuning tool, definitely. Okay, so I got it about where I want it, but I want to just bump it down a notch in the size. So again, I'm going to tap on the negative, or the, not negative, we don't like that word, right? Minus. We're going to tap on the minus and make it a little bit smaller. So it literally fine-tunes your designs or your text or anything. This is just something that you remember is in your toolbox for future reference. And actually I want it to go down a little bit more, so I'm going to tap that again. Okay, I like where it's at.
Where that cat double tap, it goes to the huge box, it doesn't bring up the keyboard sound there.
Are you on a, really?
Double tap harder.
Tap inside the box. Okay. When it doesn't work and you go, oh, it's not doing what she said, just start tapping. I promise it. You'll figure it out. It'll happen. And it just disappeared, huh?
Mine did too.
Really? That's so.
We're just not smart.
It's not supposed to be.
Okay, so if that happens, on the very top, I want to show you. This is your other friend up here. See that little arrow? That's the back button. If a step didn't work, hit the back button and watch what happens when I hit the back button. It'll make it so that you can fast forward or go forward again. Just start tapping and seeing if that helps sometimes. Apps can get a little bit temperamental sometimes. As you can see, sometimes it'll work on one device and the same app on another device will be a little bit weird. So just kind of start tapping around. If worse comes to worse, then just start over with your whole creative process. I know, that's just, unfortunately, that's what, that makes you go crazy, I know.
Background. Very bad.
Okay, so I'm going to go forward again because I want to go back to where we were.
Now do I hit done?
When you're finished with this fine-tune box, go ahead and hit done. Okay, but we've got black, and we don't want black, right? We want the same color. So we're going to tap on that again, and you really didn't have to get out of done. I just wanted to show you. Tap on it again. Once you see that little circle and the box around it, you know that you're in the you're in the editing process again. Okay? So, just like we did before, we're going to go over on the color box and we're going to go to more. Now, just so you know, this is my app and it drives me crazy that I can't duplicate text as well. So that is in the process. That's one of my requests to our developer to get that done. As of now, we can't do it. I know, it bugs me too. So we have to remix that color again. So, but we were so good at it, we can do it, right? So we're going to go to more again. And right now it says black just because that's what we're in, but watch what. Oh, okay. It's my hair appointment. I'll be making it, it's okay. Okay, so now we're going to go over and you're going to start tapping. See, once you start moving your fingers, it gets back into the color. So remember, we were about in the middle of our blue and green, and we were a little bit darker, and I want it to be a little bit greener. I'd say about right there. Okay, so mix your color again, get creative. You can even do a different color if you want. Whatever you want to do, this is your creation. Okay, do you mix your color? You're good to go. Now tap the X to get out of that. But we still are in the text editing process. If you want to move or do anything like that, you can. But if you are good to go, you hit done. Just admire your work, because doesn't it feel good to create something? It's awesome, isn't it? So now, don't you want to share it? The answer is yes, we want to share it. So we're going to tap those little three buttons again, the three lines, sorry. Remember, that always gives us more. And at the very bottom it says share or save depending on the device that you're on. And what did we learn last week? Where do we share in? Always high resolution. Just because you'll get the best quality, especially if you want to print or even if you want to do it online, it always looks best and sharp and clear and everything. You want to have good images, right? So go ahead and tap high res. No, remember at the very top, we've got our three lines, and that opens to our other drawer, and we'll learn about these in a minute too. But at the very bottom is where we share or save. Hit your high resolution, and then this box will come up on iPads, iPhones, and you want to save your image. But look, you could mail it to someone right away. You could tweet it if you wanted to. You could scroll over. You could put it on Instagram. There are a lot of different things you can do. I always save mine on my camera roll because I might want to use it later or something. So go ahead and save your image.
Somebody just airdropped it.
Did someone just airdrop?
Is that bad?
Oh,
No, was it you, Leslie?
It was me.
Airdrop is another fun thing that we could learn later in advanced, but it's awesome. Okay, so you guys have an image now in your gallery / camera roll that you can share. So let's take what we learned last week and the weeks before. I'm going to give you about a minute to tweet or Instagram or Facebook that image. And remember to hashtag share goodness. Okay? Or email it to somebody or text it to somebody. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do this. Whatever you have to Okay, we just had a good question over here. Sometimes when you're working on this and you accidentally tap a layer and you accidentally move it and you're like, oh wait, what was that? Or this one goes on top of it, you see what's happening? All you start doing is just tapping until you raise the layers to where they need to be. Okay? So again, there's nothing to be scared of. It's just a matter of tapping. You see that? And that might happen sometimes. You're like, oh, wait, how did that happen? Oh no, what am I going to do? It's okay. Your circle just got up above, so you're going to tap the other one and then tap. I'm just tapping like crazy. See that? So play with it. Play with it. Learn how the different layers work, because as you're doing it, when you go home and I'm not in front of you, and you start tapping, that's really how you learn.
Okay, when we duplicated the words, how do we get rid of one of the duplications? So we've got a green one and a yellow one. How do you get rid of the yellow one?
Okay, if you decided, oh wait, I didn't mean to do that, up at the very top, the lines again, tap it right there, and whatever you are on will delete it. Yes. So see, there's always something that will help you. Okay, how many of you have already shared goodness? Wow! I am so excited! You did? Good, good.
I've been having an issue with, I get one thing done, I've shared it, and I want to do something else right after it, but I don't know how to get this off so I can start the next thing.
That's what we're going to do next. Good question. She asked, once you have this done and you're all done and everything, but you want to get it off, now what do you do? So we'll do that. I'll give you a few more minutes, or 30 more seconds to share goodness, and then we'll go into our next project and we'll address that question. Good question. Did you share, Joan? I love it. Awesome. See, you guys are doing hard things with a smile. It's awesome. So once these little dots right here are the little lines at the very bottom that says share, and that's really what you're doing. You're saving. And you save on your high resolution, and then you save your image right here. Okay? Now I do know Android is a little bit different, but when you save your image, it automatically goes to your photos on your iPad, iPod, iPhone. Okay? Yes! So exciting!
I don't understand the hashtags, how you do the hashtags.
Okay, good question. She said, I don't understand the hashtag. Remember, and hashtag is the pound sign, as we used to call it, right? And then it's the words share goodness together with no spaces. And that will make it the live link that will be recognized on Facebook and Twitter, and depends on what social media platform you choose to use. So how do you want to post it? Okay, so on Facebook, when you enter You know how when you add your picture and then wherever you can type, that's where you would type it, is in share goodness in there. And then you can say whatever else you want. Share goodness. I can do hard things with a smile. I just created something with technology. Whatever you want to do. But because you're posting it on social media, that hashtag becomes a live link, which means anyone that taps or clicks on share goodness sees everybody else's. And it does what Elder Bednar said, just floods the earth with goodness. I love it. You guys are doing it. Way to go. Okay.
So now we go to share goodness.
Who shared goodness?
There are
Raise your
more-
hand. Own it. I want to see the share goodness people. Come on, show me, show me. Okay, so this many people right here just shared goodness out in the world. Awesome. So we're going to go to another project, and at the very top with our more, or our 3 lines, we're going to tap start over. And that means that remember we already saved or we shared this image, so it's on our camera roll, but now we're going to start a new one. So tap start over. And sometimes you'll accidentally do this and you'll say, start over. Oh no, I don't want to. I want to move that one thing. But yes, we do want to. So tap yes. And it takes you back to the starter screen. And it saved that image that you just created in your camera. Okay? So, right now we're going to actually work with frames and filters. And this is something that you do on photos. So I want you to go in to your camera roll again, or your film roll, and access your photos. And pick a photo that you love, whether it's a family, whether it's a sunset, whatever it is. Pick a photo that you want to put a quote on right now.
Can I just ask you one question? Where was the quote that we got on that last one?
That was on Insta Goals.
Insta Gold?
Mm-hmm. And in order to see all of the different quotes and stuff, you're just going to need to play and tap and search and explore to find, but there's tons. It's so much fun.
I have a hard time when I'm in there, I'm on an app. How do I get out of this one that I created and back to finding photos?
So you need to start over.
Where do you push start over?
So you're going to, up at the very top, oh, I got to get back in. Okay, wait, I do have to get back into the app to show you. Okay, so this is where we were, right? To start over, it's the 3 lines on the top, and then at the very top it says start over. So that's how you get out.
It's not on the map.
Okay, start tapping. There's got to be something on there that's similar.
It says delete.
Tap that and see what happens. I can't remember what it's called, the wording is on Android.
Well,
I don't think you've hit done at the top. If it says delete, she's not at a pushing.
Got it. Yeah, when you're done. That's what I should say, done, right?
For sure done.
Not just done, we're done. Okay, so we're out of there. We're selecting our photo, right? And I'm going to select,
What's our end goal?
our end goal is we're going to put a frame and a filter on this.
On one photo.
On one photo. That's all we're doing right now. We're just going to introduce filters and frames. Okay, so I'm going to select this cute picture of my uncle. I love it. Old-time photo. And I want to put a filter on it. Actually, first I want to crop it. And it's already in a square, so I'm just going to save square. But remember, if you want to keep it in the whatever format that the original photo is, then go ahead. Yes, the very left one is the film roll. Tap that. The camera itself is the one that you would take a picture. You want the one on the left that's the... So tap X. Okay, I'll take you back, Julie. So this camera is actually where you would take a photo.
Oh, okay.
And if you want to do that right now, look at this. We could do it. In fact, maybe I will. I'm going to do you guys right now. Okay, so I just took a photo, and this is the one I want to use this photo. Look at how cute. We're going to put a filter and a frame on you guys. Okay, so I say use photo. But if you want to access your own photos, it's that very left one that's the film roll. And then it says all photos or camera roll. Different phones say different things. Okay, so go ahead and get it to where you want. I'm going to keep it in the original format. And now we're going to go into our toolbox again, those little 3 lines, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Now watch this. We're going to do filters and we're going to do frames today. Mask is something that we'll do in the advanced level. Okay, so don't freak out. It's okay. So right now let's apply a filter. So tap that filter right there. And then at the very bottom, you're going to scroll through all these different filters. There's a slider adjustment that you can adjust the filters. I like that one because it kind of brightened it up a little bit. If you want to adjust, see how I'm adjusting that little slider. So I like that right there. I think that looks good. And then once you have your filter that you are happy with, you hit the very top right that says apply. So you just applied that filter to your photo. And now do you recognize this? We're back where we were with the T and the design. And if you go, oh, I didn't want that filter, look what's up there. Our friend, the back button. So I went back and I said, I don't want, I do want that. So now do the forward button. Okay?
So does that permanently alter your original film photo? So if you want, you should save another copy.
The question was, does this filter automatically affect your original photo? Yes, it does. But then when you save it, it'll be a different one. You already have the other one in your camera roll. That's where you accessed it. Right.
So it will.
It'll save. It will save the way you are editing it. Okay. But you had the original photo because you grabbed it from your camera roll. So you'll have 2 different versions of this. You'll have the dressed up fancy one and the original one. Okay, so now let's put a frame on this, okay? So again, at the very top with the little lines, in our tool drawer, we've got frames. And let me tell you, there are, the 3 lines are your tool drawers. Remember, whenever you want to open drawers and you want more, it's always the 3 lines. Just look for those. There's always more there. So now we're going to scroll down and watch. There are just tons of different frames.
Is this under tools?
This is under your tools where the little 3 lines up at the top, the very bottom tool is frames. And this is where you're just going to explore and have fun. Okay? Now I want to show you something with these. Let me find one. Since I have a... Okay, this is a good one to show you. Okay, so I tapped this old vintage looking one. And you see how it kind of cut my photo? I want to turn it so that it goes the portrait. No, it goes the landscape. And that's what this little arrow button is for. Now watch what happens when I do this. It turned it. But I want to make it a little bit bigger, so I take my fingers and I just stretch it. And I can move it around. I can make it really big so that it just has 2 sides. You can get creative with this. The one thing that it doesn't do is it doesn't change the shape. For instance, this is a rectangle. You can't change this particular one into a square. You can rotate it, but there are lots of other squares that you can be doing. So just start playing with with your frames right now. Find one that you like. Go ahead and pinch it, play with it. Right now you're just practicing with this little rotate button. So just rotate that. And then when you get to one that you like, and you get to about the size that you want, I want to show you what this does. This 4-corner arrow icon, whatever, if you press that, look at what happens. It allows you to recrop the photo. So like once you say, oh, I love this frame, but it cuts out that one part. So you're able to go in, and that was this one up here. Okay?
How do you get out of that?
How do you get in?
Okay, okay, I'll take you back. So, you're in your frames, right? Is that where we are? You're at your frame, and do you see these 2 up here? Okay, so you must not be, are you in the frame? So you're out. Okay, look at the very top, on the right. What do you see on the right? Your tool drawer. So get back into frames. Is that where you were? And it's still not doing it?
I don't have that.
Oh, sorry. Android does not have it doesn't have every single aspect that the iPhone does. I'm very sorry. It is the way they... My developer says it's very hard to develop for Android. So that's all I know. It's just very hard. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so now watch what happens on the back, okay? So right now we've got a white background, and now you're going to tap the the black, and that changes your tabletop or your photo album or whatever you want to call it, your page. So if you want to have a color, you've got that option as well. I'm going to keep it at white. Okay, so now once you have your photo cropped the way you want it and your frame, what would be the next step that you would do to get out? X, because that means you're done, right? So now we can go in and we can add different designs, different textures, different things like that. I want to show you a fun one that is really just kind of a subtle, I don't know, a subtle design that is a fun thing to do. Go ahead and tap your Starburst design and scroll down to, we've already used it before, InstaGeo. And then scroll to the very, very end until you find this little, I don't know what that's called. That shape.
Burst?
The burst, exactly. Okay? So go ahead and tap on it. Remember, oh, look at Colleen. Your face is just sunburst just perfectly. Okay, this is something that might not be the best for faces, so I probably shouldn't have this one right now, but I really like this effect, and it's a fun one to do if you do landscapes or something that's kind of beautiful like that. Not that this isn't beautiful, I'm not saying that. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my little circle and I'm going to make it really, really, really big. I'm going to go into my fine tune and make it really big. Okay, so that it does something where it just highlights. And then I'm going to go to my transparency and I'm just going to scale it down to really, really mild. So imagine this on, I'll show you right here. I did this on this photo. Okay, so right here is something that we just did. We used the frames. We put a quote on it. And then we put that little starburst on it. So those are 3 things that you have learned that you can do. Okay, so how are your photos coming? Doing good? Okay, so the starburst, remember you go into your fine tune and you make it as big as you can. That lower slider right there. You can do it with your finger as well, but I think this is probably the easiest because you can make it as big as you want. I love seeing you guys all do this. This is awesome. It really is. I'm serious. And the fact that you're just trying, really, it is quite amazing. Okay, so you're to the point now where you have your photo and your starburst. Let's put a little quote on the bottom, like how we did with that Faith Has Wings, okay? I'm going to hit done. Actually, I'm not, because I'm still in. Do you see up here? That means I'm in the pink mode is the design mode. I'm going to hit my plus because I'm going to add another design. So I want to go down to Insta Chalk Art. I think it's like the 3rd or 4th one down to the basics. Okay, and this is what it says. Believe. That's the one that's the Insta Chalk Art. And this one has tons of pre-made, kind of distressed-looking chalk art looking, sorry, it was Instant Chalk Art.
And what do we go to?
Plus, you're going to add another layer, remember, because
No, I did that, I'm just ready to.
okay, so now you're going to Instant Chalk Art.
It's the chalk art.
Mhm. And then scroll through, and there's prepare to be amazed. Actually, no, prepare for the best. That's what it says. I'm going to do it up here so I can see better. Okay? There's simply lovely. Maybe we should do that for all of you. Or there's stand and be not moved. I love that one. There also, here's a quote from Elder, I don't remember who this is on the original, but it's a big, I mean, these are really good fun quote art. I'm going to do create your own joy though for this one. And I'm going to stick it up at the top.
So if you get one and you don't want it, tell us again how you get rid of it.
So right now, my box is on that, and I decide I don't want it, so I just go and tap the one I do want. Okay? But it only works when the box is around it. That means you're in the editing phase. Okay? So if you say, oh no, I want to change it to, it takes courage. How about that one for you guys? Or inspiration is everywhere. I like that one too.
How do you delete it? How do you get rid of something that you don't want to quote?
So if you decide you don't want to quote, you go to the very top with the little lines and you say delete. And that will delete the layer that you have highlighted. And if suddenly it deletes something that you didn't want to, there's always the back button. It'll put it back on and you can tap the design that you want. Okay, so let's do something fun here. I want to do kind of a subtle, I want it to be white. You can't see it very well. Actually, I'm going to do this one. Okay, do you see how you can't see this white one very well? I want it to be really subtle, so I want to add a drop shadow to it. So the very top, again, our little tool drawer, we go down and hit shadow. And you've got sliders here that will give you the ability, do you see how now you can read that? You can add a blur. Do you see what that's doing? It just is kind of fun, and it adds also the angle that the drop shadow's at. So this is something else, another tool that's in your tool drawer that you can use for different designs. You can also use it for the text. You can use it so that it can highlight things. So look at that. Take a chance on your dreams. All you women are taking a chance on your dreams. But now watch this. Once I put the drop shadow on, I would say done to get out of that. And I'm looking it over and I'm thinking, you know what? I don't want that quote. I want to change it. But it looks like I'm done, right? If I tap on that, it takes me back into the editing process and I'm able to change it again. Okay? So then I could even go, the drop shadow still stays. And I could go back to that faith one if we wanted to. I don't want to put it on anyone's face. Or believe would be a good one. Believe in the impossible. How's that, guys?
How do we get back to the starburst? Is there a way that I can get back to the
If you want to take that off, is that what you want to do? Then you're going to go.
I want to make it a little brighter.
Okay, so right now you're highlighted on your quote, right? Go ahead and tap over here and it will highlight and then move it around. And do you see that? So you just have to tap over on the side. Because it's so big, you won't be able to see the square. But as you turn it around, or as you move it, you'll be able to see it. So if you want to say, oh, I want it brighter. Sorry, Then I would go to transparency and I could go in and make it brighter. You see that? So like I said before, there's always a way. There's always a way to go back and change something. You just have to start tapping and learning what the tools are and what tools you have in your drawer and how they're used.
So how do you change your frame?
Okay, hold on. We've got a question back here.
If I want to put words up in the top and words in the corner, can I tap that twice, or I can't have two text areas in one? Or do I just make the box really big and put in?
I would do two different ones and just do, yeah. And like we learned last week, you can do different layers with text the same way. We just tap the plus and you add a different one. Yep, good, thank you. Okay, yes, what was your question?
If I wanted to, I got it and I didn't like the frame with those colors of my text. Can I go back and fix that?
Good question. Okay, so let's say you've got all this done and you say, okay, I hit my done. I don't like my frame. So you go back to where the little tool drawer that we had the frames, tap on frame, and it's the same thing before. You just tap on another
Go
frame.
back to the frame.
Yep, you just go back. And you could rotate it again. I could stretch it again and make it like this. Okay? So there's always, you just have to start tapping, and that's how you find the things that are available. Okay. We're going to do collage. And this one is a really basic collage. Okay? So save your photo. Tap out of the X. Remember how we save? We go to the three lines to the very bottom that says share or save. You're going to save in the highest resolution possible and save your image.
You want to see mine, Donna.
I do want to see everybody's. That is so cute. No, you cannot. But guess what? We're working on that. That's another thing that drives me crazy that I'm asking our developer to do. Because sometimes I'll get something done. I'm like, I love the frame, I love everything, but I don't like that picture. So that is coming. I'm told soon. I'm so excited. Okay, so now hopefully you have 4 pictures in your camera roll that you love, and we're going to do a little collage right now, okay? So we're done with Rana Designs. Go ahead and tap out of that. Now, if you got the email about the collage app that is hopefully everybody did, it's called Diptych. I do want to show you something right here, though. There are a lot of different collage apps out there. Some are free, some are not. Remember, you get what you pay for. The free ones, there are ads and it crashes and stuff like that. Not all, I can't say that. But one of my very favorites is called Bubble Frame. It's only for iPhone though, and so that's why I didn't choose that one for the class. But it has a lot of power. It is a powerful app that does lots of different things. It is not free. It's $1.99. Another one that is coming soon, I'm excited, is called RD Collage. And the thing about my apps that I cannot take any credit for, it's my amazing developer, he's making it so that I have another one called RD Magic that does a lot of filters and things like that. That's amazing. But what it does is they toggle back and forth, and you can erase bits and take it into another one and that's advanced, but it's really cool, and a collage will be doing the same thing. But the one that is for Android and iPhone that it's very simple, it's easy to use, gosh, who just bought this? I can't remember how much it was. 99 cents? Okay. Diptych is really good, and that's the one that we'll be playing with today. So if you don't have it on your phone and you're not interested, that's okay. Go home and do your homework and your research and find one that maybe you want to invest in, or that you just want to play with. Find a free one that's fun to play. So just watch us and just have fun. If you do have it, let's open up Diptych. And we're just going to do a really simple collage, okay? Tap on Classic. If this is the first time you used it, there's probably nothing in your recent. So go ahead and tap on Classic. And do you see all these different little grids?
Where are the
These
circles?
well, that's what we're going to make. We're going to make circles. There aren't circles in there. We're going to create them, okay?
Oh, okay.
So the circles, that's why I wanted to show you what you can do with it. It's really fun. So we're going to just tap the classics, that's the 4 grid. So tap on that, and then your grid comes up. Now, I already was playing with this, so my photos are there. But this is where you're going to tap on the first square, and watch what happens. You've got all these adjusters and everything coming in. If you tap on the first one again, it will access your camera roll. So go ahead and pick any photo you want and collage it, okay? I'm just going to do that one up there.
I'm there, and
So go to Classic.
Yeah.
Find Classic at the top,
okay.
and then find the 4 grid.
Is that in our notes?
Yes, all this is in your notes, and was really careful doing specific step-by-steps in your notes. I mean, it's 5 pages long. It has every step you need. So if you can't remember, you can go back and do it. So we're on our 4 grid. Whoops.
Do we want to reset?
No. Sorry. I don't know what it's saying.
That just came right, that came.
It's your first time using, so yeah, just hit reset. Okay, do the same thing with your second square. Tap on it again. So, and if it doesn't happen the first time, tap it twice. There it goes. Until you can access your photos. Put another photo in. And just continue that same step until you have your collage of 4 pictures. Remember, just start tapping. If you have, who has the 4 grid? If you've got your 4 grid and you're looking at it, good. Now tap on that first square until it will access your photos. Sometimes that's one thing about this app that's a little bit buggy. Sometimes it takes 2, 3 times to tap. It seems like it's always different. But when you're tapping on it and it doesn't do anything, tap again until your photos come up. Okay? So who has 4 photos, 4 square photos in their grid? Okay, now let's make circles.
I do too.
Okay, right now, you see the frame around it and the border. On the very bottom of your dashboard, it says Borders, Frames, Aspect, Text. We're going to tap on the borders. So now you have this new little window right here, okay? And do you see these different sliders? This slider right here, I don't even know what it's called, but this is the slider we're going to use. Go ahead and slide it all the way and see what it does. Isn't that fun?
So where's the effects?
When you're on borders, there's one right here. I don't know the name of it, but it's the one that will make your photo circles. Now, go ahead and start playing with all the other ones and see what it does. Because that bottom one, watch what it does. It makes your whole thing a circle. Or it makes it a square, a rounded square. Or it makes these a rounded square. So start playing with it and discover. Borders is where we did all of that. Yep. You can also change the color. I know, this is kind of a beginning course of collage. It's just I wanted you to see the different things that you could be doing with collage and things like that. So if I decide, oh, I don't want to do this, I want to do something a little bit different, you can always go to your back button to layouts. And also, but because you just did the circle one, so I wanted to show, who was the one that said, oh, there's circles? Where are the circles? Crystal, did you say that? If you go to your recents now, the circle one is saved there.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just have to do it once, and then you'll be able to go in and put any photos you want in there. Isn't that awesome?
So how do you save it once you get it like?
So once you're back there, let's go back. If you are already in this app, it's called Publish. So you tap Publish, and again, what's our rule? Always save at highest res, or large in this case, generating the prettiest pixels. Isn't that cute? And then it will give you the option to save, and when you save it, it's on your camera roll. That's it. Isn't that easy and fun? So once you've got the app in your hand, you've got the tools in your hand, you guys can create. Now, I want to... Okay, I want to end. I know that this is a lot of information, and like I said in weeks before, practice, practice, practice. But I want you to know that you do not have to go crazy, and you do not have to take all this time to become this technological guru. That's not what it's about, right? Little by little, just like how Heavenly Father teaches us, precept upon precept, right? Little by little. Show your goodness by sharing your goodness. And in order to share your goodness and show your goodness, it's just the small and simple things, right? Okay, I want to end with these last things to remember to pump you up again and remind you that when you share your authentic, real light and then live your life in a like manner, you will be that raindrop of goodness. Try to communicate in real, simple, and short ways. A picture with one word or 2 words or a hashtag can be enough. You don't have to do tons and tons. Remember, everyone has their own role. And this last part, this was on LDS.org, and I absolutely love it. This is kind of a guideline, and it's something for all of us to remember. Sharing a raindrop of goodness does not mean you personally need to flood the earth. Your raindrop of shared goodness combined with everyone else's will create that flood. That flood. You should never try to be that flood by yourself through massive amounts of communication. You will be exhausted, and others will be annoyed. I love this the most, though. Better to be a welcome bit of sunshine than a blazing desert furnace. Isn't that awesome? So remember the promises that Elder Bednar gave us. Remember the fact that every single one of us has a role and a specific personal role that we can play. And remember that our little raindrop will flood the earth combined with everybody else. So for next week, your homework, once again, is to create something once a day. Take 5 minutes. It doesn't have to mean you finish the creation, right? Just start on it and do these little tricks and tips and techniques and everything. And next week, we will be learning more about, it's not as technology as this stuff with apps. In 2 weeks, thank you. In 2 weeks, on February 19th, we will talk about sharing effectively and efficiently, how to upload to multiple social media platforms to save time and to share more. And also we'll be delving into creating our own Mormon.org profile, because there is power in that as well to help flood the earth. I want you to know that I know that it can feel overwhelming and it can feel a little bit daunting, but I know that it is possible. And I know that with Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ on our side that we can do it, because after all, it is their work. And I testify that this is something that we can be doing to hasten the work. And I am so excited for just the world that we live in. It's amazing and it's wonderful, isn't it, that we can be doing these things. I love it, and I just ask me any questions that you need. I'm here to help you. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.